So we will start with translation. Till now we have read about transcription, the genetic code, and now translation. Now we know that the DNA transcribes the mRNA. This mRNA moves from the nucleus into the cytoplasm, and there it contains the codes. The mRNA contains the codes, and these codes go into the ribosome. mRNA goes into the ribosomes, and there it codes for the proteins. So we will now talk about the mechanism of translation. The ribosomes first of all bind with the messenger mRNA, messenger RNA. Then it attracts the transfer RNA to mRNA. The transfer RNA covalently linked with this transfer RNA is linked to the specific amino acid. That means it is an activated transfer RNA. Then complementary base pairing between the transfer RNA and mRNA occurs. That means codon-anticodon interaction occurs, and enzymes in the ribosome, they catalyze this peptide bond between the amino acids, and a polypeptide chain is formed. Then the transfer RNA has two main sites, that's the amino acid binding site and the anticodon site. So this amino acid binding site is the place where the amino acid comes and binds, and it becomes an activated tRNA or charged tRNA. And this anticodon, it contains codons for AUG. This AUG is always the first codon of mRNA that the anticodon will search for. Then this anticodon will bind with that AUG. Then come to the how does it start, the initiation of the how does it start. First, the amino acid will form the amino acid adenosine monophosphate. Amino acid will form, it will combine with ATP and form amino acid adenosine monophosphate. This amino acid adenosine monophosphate will combine with tRNA and make the tRNA charged. Then this is done with the help of an enzyme, amino acid tRNA synthetase. You can see that there are sites for amino acid binding and for the tRNA binding. So, and then the amino acid tRNA is formed. The charged amino acid tRNA is formed. Then this amino acid, the incorporation of the correct amino acid tRNA is determined by base pairing interactions between the anticodon of the tRNA and the messenger RNA. So the anticodons and will find their codes on mRNA, and then they will form pairing. Then what is the work of ribosomes? These ribosomes, they facilitate the specific coupling of anticodons with the codons. So the coupling of anticodons and codons is done on the ribosomes. The ribosomes has two subunits, one is a large and one is a small. These are made up of proteins and ribosomal RNA. Then the tRNA binding sites on the ribosome, they are three sites on the ribosomes. One is the A site, amino acid tRNA binding site. This is the amino acid tRNA binding site, the peptidyl tRNA binding site, and the exit site. So you can see here the peptidyl tRNA binding site, the exit site, and the amino acid binding site, amino acid tRNA binding site. So first amino acid tRNA will come and bind at this site A. Then this triangular shape is a large subunit, and the smaller one is a smaller subunit. It also has a groove for the it also has a hole for the mRNA to move in that. And then in addition to the A site, P site, and E site, there is an mRNA binding groove that holds on the message being translated. Now, the mechanism of protein synthesis falls in three stages. Initiation of the, initiation means the assembly of the ribosomes on an mRNA. Both the ribosomal units will come and bind on the mRNA with the tRNA. Then elongation of the polypeptide chain, and then termination of the chain. Then these all require translation factors, protein translation factors. These factors are the factor 1, 3 and 2 in prokaryotes. Eukaryotes, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, 5 and 6. So almost 10. Then elongation factors are also there, and their functions are there, which you have to go through Then come to the polyribosomes. These polyribosomes exist in the prokaryotes and viruses. They are found in a single mRNA is translated by many ribosomes simultaneously. Okay, so then what happens? It allows fast synthesis of many copies. Here you can see how polyribosomes are attached with the mRNA, and then many copies of that same protein can be made. Then initiation, that's the first step of our protein synthesis. Okay, the prokaryotic ribosome bind to specific translation initiation site on the mRNA. That means there is a translation initiation site on which the mRNA will bind, and several different initiation sites on the messenger RNA are found. Okay, and a prokaryotic mRNA can code for several different proteins. On one mRNA only, so many proteins are coded. Translation begins at AUG codon or sometimes GUG codon. Both in eukaryotes and prokaryotes it is AUG only. The modified amino acid and formal methionine is always the first amino acid of the new polypeptide. So this AUG codon which is being coded, also it is at the first amino acid which is binding to the tRNA at the amino acid binding site is the N-formyl methionine. Then in eukaryotes what happens? The ribosome binds at the 5' cap. Okay, but it moves on the mRNA till it reaches the AUG. That means that ribosome will now, which is containing the tRNA on it, it will find the AUG. It's a codon. The anticodon will find the codon, and then it will bind the codon for methionine. Translation starts from this point where the binding occurs. Okay, so before that, that means it does not start at the first base of mRNA. Then initiator tRNA is that tRNA on which the first methionine is attached. Methionine is the first amino acid which is incorporated into a protein chain in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay. Initiator tRNA are special tRNA which recognize the AUG. So the first tRNA which will recognize the AUG is the initiator codon. Okay, sorry, initiator tRNA, and that AUG is the start codon of protein synthesis always. Then initiation, how does it occur? The initiation process involves first joining the mRNA, the initiator methionine tRNA, and the small ribosomal unit. So three things join. mRNA will join the small unit, and the tRNA will join the mRNA. So on the 5' end. Now after the tRNA will come and find the 5' end, the tRNA will come and join the ribosomes, and then the mRNA will come and join. And now what happens? Several initiation factors are needed. The large ribosomal subunit then joins the complex later on. Okay, what happens now? The small ribosomal unit will move along with the tRNA onto the mRNA until it finds the AUG. And when it will find the AUG, it will join there with the anticodon is UAC for that. Then come to, in prokaryotes, specific sequence in the mRNA around the AUG codon are recognized by the methionine amino acid tRNA. Okay, so the mRNA AUG codon is recognized by the methionine amino acid tRNA, by the initiation factors, and by the small ribosomal units. Then the binding of this charged DNA occurs there. Then you can see here in the picture how it happens. Then binding of the large ribosomal subunit leads to the formation of complete ribosome. After that, the large subunit will come and bind, and now it is ready for translation. So what happens? Most of the differences in mechanism of protein between prokaryote and eukaryote occurs in initiation stage only, where a greater number of initiation factors and scanning processes are involved in eukaryotes. The second thing is that the eukaryotic initiator does not become N-formulated. I told you before. And then the third eukaryotic mRNA binding to the ribosome is facilitated by 7-methylisine guanosine cap. Okay, so it will go and join the eukaryotic mRNA. Binding occurs at the cap. Then, in contrast, eukaryote uses scanning mechanism to initiate translation. That means the ribosome and the tRNA move along the mRNA until they find the AUG. That is called scanning mechanism. Now, GTP hydrolysis by ELF2 is a single signal for binding of the large subunit. So when hydrolysis occurs, then the large subunit come and bind there. Then small ribosomal subunit bind the mRNA and special initiator tRNA carrying the amino acid methionine. So we have read about it. That small subunit scans along the mRNA until the first start codon. Then initiation factors bring in large subunit. Then the initiator tRNA occupies the P site. So the initiator tRNA, first it was on the A site. You can see here, initiator tRNA is on the A site. Okay, then here it is not shown here. In here it is shown that it is on the then the initiator tRNA will occupy the P site, and at the P site only the methionine will be formed. Okay, the protein or the amino acid for the methionine will be coded. The ribosome then moves down one codon. Then what happens? The ribosome will move one codon. That means now methionine will come at the exit site, and the new tRNA will join at the A site. Okay. The now empty tRNA at the P site is displaced off the ribosome at E site. So what happens? That methionine is now displaced at the E site. That tRNA which brought methionine is now displaced at the E site. The process is repeated. What happens in this process? The tRNA at the P site holds the peptide chain. So at the P site, the whole peptide chain bonding is formed, and a new tRNA binds to the A site. Then comes the next tRNA which will join at the A site, at this site. So second tRNA will join at the A site. The peptide chain is transferred onto the amino acid attached to the A site. So what happens now? This the tRNA which is at the A site will transfer its peptide chain to the tRNA at the P site will transfer its chain to the A site. To the tRNA which is at the A site. Now the ribosome moves down one codon again. The ribosome will move, and the tRNA at the A site comes to the P site, and the one at the P site goes to the E site and gets exit. The ribosome moves down one codon, displaces the empty P site tRNA, and moving the tRNA with the peptide chain from the A site to the P site. So this is the process of protein synthesis. This is the elongation. Okay. Now during elongation, what happens? The ribosome translates 5' to 3' on mRNA. So this was elongation, and the polypeptide chain grows amino end first, carboxyl end at the last. The amino acid contains the carboxyl end. This carboxyl end will join with the OH end of the transfer RNA when they are forming a bond in the to become a charged. Then elongation factors facilitate codon recognition, peptide bond formation, and translocation. Now here is the process of recognition, peptide bond formation, and translocation. Translocation means movement of the tRNA away from the ribosome. Okay, and the movement of the ribosome towards the A site. Next site. One step. The three steps of elongation thus are that charged tRNA is delivered as a complex, then that peptidyl transferase make a peptide bond by joining the two adjacent amino acids. Okay, so this is done by peptidyl transferase. Then translocase with the energy from GTP moves the ribosome one codon along the mRNA, ejecting the uncharged tRNA. So this is the main three steps of elongation. Then translocation is what? In bacteria, the discharged tRNA leaves the ribosome via another site, the E site. In eukaryotic, it is expelled into the cytosol. Then the functions of various factors is given here. That elongation factor introduces a two-step kinetic proofreading. Then a second elongation factor drives the translocation of ribosome along the mRNA. Together, GTP hydrolysis by EF1 and EF2 help drive protein synthesis forward. So these are the functions of various factors. Then termination means ending. It occurs when the stop codon on the mRNA reaches the A site of the ribosome. The three codons UG, UAA or UGA, they are called the stop codons. They do not code for any amino acid. A site accepts protein called release factors instead. And when the ribosome reaches a stop codon, there is no tRNA that binds to it. Instead, the release factors at the A site, they bind and they cause the separation of ribosome, the mRNA and the new polypeptide. So you can see here how they are all separated. So this new polypeptide is complete. Then eukaryotes use only one release factor which requires GTP and termination codon is of three types, UAG, UAA or UGA, that cause protein synthesis to terminate. So that's the end. Thanks.